What did that sign say? Did you see it, Simon? It was some sort of placard at the edge of the road. Deborah St. James slowed the car and looked back. They'd already rounded a bend, and the thick lattice of bare branches from the oaks and horse chestnuts hid both the road itself and the lichenous limestone wall that had been edging it. Where they were now, the roadside's demarcation consisted of a skeletal hedge, denuded by winter and blackened by twilight. It wasn't a sign for the hotel, was it? Did you see a drive? Her husband shook off the reverie in which he'd spent much of the long drive from Manchester Airport, half admiring the winter landscape of Lancashire, with its subdued blend of moorland russets and farmland sage, half brooding over the possible identification of the tool which had cut a thick electrical wire prior to its being used to bind together the hands and the feet of a female body found last week in Surrey. "A drive?" he asked. "There might have been one, I didn't notice, but the sign was for palm reading and a psychic in residence." "You're joking." "I'm not. Is that a feature of the hotel you've not told me about?" "Not that I know." She peered through the windscreen. The road began to slope upwards, and the lights from a village shimmered in the distance, perhaps a mile farther on. "I suppose we haven't gone far enough." "What's the place called?" "Crofter's Inn." "Decidedly, then, the sign didn't say that. Must be an advertisement for someone's line of employment. This is Lancashire, after all. I'm surprised the hotel isn't called the Cauldron." "We wouldn't have come had it been, my love. I'm becoming superstitious in my advancing years." "I see." He smiled in the growing darkness. Her advancing years. She was only 25. She had all the energy and the promise of her youth. Still, she looked tired. He knew she hadn't been sleeping well, and her face was wan. A few days in the country, long walks, and rest were what she needed. She had been working too much in the past several months, working more than he, keeping late hours in the dark room and going out far too early on assignments only marginally connected to her interest in the first place. "I'm trying to broaden my horizons," she would say. "Landscapes and portraits aren't enough, Simon. I need to do more. I'm thinking of a multimedia approach, perhaps a new show of my work in the summer. I can't get it ready if I don't get out there and see what's what and try new things and stretch myself and make some more contacts and—" He didn't argue or try to hold her back. He just waited for the crisis to pass. They'd weathered several during the first 2 years of their marriage. He always tried to remember that fact when he began to despair of their weathering this. She pushed a tangle of coppery hair behind her ear, put the car back into gear, and said, "Let's go on to the village, then, shall we?" "Unless you'd like to have your palm read first." "For my future, you mean?" "I think not, thank you." He'd intended it as nothing. From the false brightness of her reply, he knew she hadn't taken it that way. He said, "Deborah." She reached for his hand. Driving, her eyes on the road, she pressed his palm to her cheek. Her skin was cool. It was soft, like the dawn. "I'm sorry," she said. "This is our time together. Don't let me mess it about." But she didn't look at him. More and more at tense moments, she wasn't meeting his eyes. It was as if she believed that the act of doing so would give him an advantage she did not want him to have, while all the time he felt every single advantage between them was hers. He let the moment pass. He touched her hair. He rested his hand on her thigh. She drove on. From the palm reader's sign, it was little over a mile into the small village of Wimslough, which was built along the acclivity of a hill. They passed the church first, a Norman structure with crenellation on its tower and along its roof-line, and a blue-faced clock permanently displaying the time as 3:22. Then the primary school, then a row of terraced houses facing an open field. At the peak of the hill, in a Y where the Clitheroe road met the west-east junctions leading to Lancaster or to Yorkshire, Crofter's Inn sat.